Today, we'll explain what Solana is, talk about some of the strange technical advantages it has over Ethereum, and then talk about tokenomics, which can help you predict how the market will move. We'll use stories, analogies, and examples to help you understand what we say about cryptocurrencies. Hello everyone and welcome to Success Wisdom. In this video, we're going to talk about Solana Crypto Explained in 2022. If you're new to this channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about what's so great about it and who made it. The first white paper was made by Anatoly Yakovenko. You should know that he is very smart and has worked for Qualcomm for at least a decade. The white paper was hard to read. His blockchain is named after a beach in Solana that he liked a lot. It is very technical, but there are a few phrases that are easy to understand. Let's look at what caused the price of Solana to go up in recent months. Solana is very fast, especially when compared to Ethereum and Bitcoin, which have blocked 10 times of 10 seconds and 10 minutes, respectively. Solana also says that they can handle up to 710,000 transactions per second, which is about 30 times as many as a Visa can handle right now. Even if they've never been able to get over 50,000, that doesn't mean they can't get to 710,000. It just means they haven't tried. Solana's network is therefore cheap, big, and fast. I think it's like the Matic network, where each transaction costs about a cent. Let's talk about what makes them so fast and cheap. The first thing we need to talk about is the consensus process of the blockchain. This is a fancy way of saying that everyone agrees on what the blockchain should be. They also don't use proof of stake or proof of labor. In his white paper, Anatoly described proof of history, a new way of looking at history. You should know that it's basically proof of stake with a unique element of time added. Proof of history is not a consensus process, but rather a way to add time to data in a blockchain. We put exact dates and times on the block so that validators can know in what order to send blocks without having to send messages back and forth. This lets them work very quickly. A big problem is that other blockchains have to agree on a time frame. We don't think about it, but on other blockchains, computers can just look at their phones or the sun to see what time it is. Instead, they have to keep asking. The computers that make up a network are called nodes, and they must be able to talk to each other. Before submitting a block, they have to agree on a time, which can take a long time in the computer world. Solana solves this problem by having everyone date their blocks with a proof of history and by using a cryptographic proof so they don't have to wait for everyone to agree on the time. In short, we don't have to wait for other validators to look over and approve our work because we can agree on how the data in the blocks should be arranged after the fact. In essence, proof of history lets nodes keep throwing blocks at us. Since some people have faster internet than others, we can trust that they are telling the truth about when they sent the blocks. We can sort them when we get them and then add them to the blockchain. There is a little bit more to say about the historical evidence now, but to be honest, it should be the subject of its own movie. Another interesting thing about Solana is that around 25 users can validate around 25 blocks at the same time. This is why, compared to proof of stake, they were so much better than Visa by such a wide margin. I like that becoming a validator in Solana doesn't even have any requirements. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll now talk about the proof of stake. To compare with Ethereum 2.0, you will need about 32 Ethereum, which is about 100,000 Solana. To vote every day, all you need is a small amount of currency and to pay a small fee. There's a catch though. Right now, the only thing I don't like is that you have to pay to vote. 1 Solana a day or about $70,000 a year seems like a crazy amount, but about 1,000 people are doing it, so maybe they know something I don't. Let's talk about something that no other major blockchain has talked about yet. It is called sea level. Technically, this phrase is just a catchy way of saying that validators can run smart contract code at the same time. Let me now give you a little explanation if you're not a developer. Imagine that you have to cook dinner, wash the dishes, and then wash the car. Since there is only one person, each of these tasks would have to be done in order since there is only one person. When it comes to Solana, we call this a serial job. Parallel means that you can do more than one thing at the same time. For example, if you could make 2 copies of yourself, you could cook, switch out the dishes, and wash the car all at the same time. Solana can pretty much do that when processing their smart contracts. I also saw this code on their website. It says that hardware, not software or ideas, is the thing that holds things back. Every time NVIDIA adds another SIMD lane, our network's computing power will go up by a factor of 2. How Bitcoin and Ethereum will work on the supercomputers we have in 10 to 50 years is interesting to me. Before we talk about SOL's token economy, there is one more thing you should know. Solana smart contracts are very different from Ethereum's. Solana uses the programming language Rust, while Ethereum's Solidity code runs on an architecture similar to a virtual machine. Rust is a very low-level programming language which gives it a lot more power but also makes it harder to use. One problem with this is that, unlike many other blockchains, the Ethereum network doesn't let developers just copy and paste their ideas in apps. Everything has to be rewritten from scratch. On the other hand, they will have more power than smart contracts for Ethereum. Now let's talk about tokenomics. I think the Solana network's currency is the SOL coin, which is used for transaction fees all over the blockchain ecosystem. I think that Solana has both effects that raise and lower prices. It's inflationary because they just made a plan to cut stake rewards by a very small amount very few days until they reach 1.5% in 10 years. It is deflationary because for a long time, all transaction fees were burned, but now only about half of them are. They started with about 500 million tokens in total, and that number will continue to grow because of the proof-of-stake payouts. Before their first ICO, they had 4 private investment rounds, which are also important for early distribution. During these 4 funding rounds and their first coin offering, about 36% of their supply was sold at a price that was not too high. They used to sell each of these things for about 25 cents, but now they cost 200 cents each. The people who started the project got an extra 13% of the tokens. The Solana Foundation received a 10% increase. The other 39% was used to support projects in the neighborhood, which are now run by the foundation. I found something surprising. There was a Solana wallet with about 13 million tokens in it, but no one knew why. So, they just burned a lot of them. Also, it's important to remember that Solana really did go out for about 6 hours in December 2020. A decentralized protocol that isn't reliable should never happen, so this is a little bit scary. It means that everyone who was connected to the network was affected by the problem. Even though it seems like no one panicked when they heard this news, it had almost no effect on the price. Last but not least, if you're an investor or want to make a DAP for Solana, you should know that the company is still in the beta stage. We've finished another video and thank you for watching. I hope you have learned something from this video. If you like this video, do give us a like, subscribe to the channel and comment down below. Thank you and goodbye.